All right, thanks for tuning back in. I'm Dave. Save America, vote Tulsi Gabbard. This is my channel. This will be the name of the channel until Tulsi Gabbard becomes President of the United States or is somehow eliminated from contention, which, you know, I don't see how people would not put Tulsi in position to take on Donald J. Trump, because Tulsi would win in a landslide. So Democrats, you know, you're always playing the strategy game, like who can beat Trump. Do some testing on Tulsi and see how she does, because she would beat Trump in a landslide. Hey, I picked up some books. There's an old joke. I finished my first book. Now I'm going to read another one. The Management of Savagery by Max Blumenthal. Controversial book, I guess. Some bookstores that didn't want him, I guess they took him back. I don't know. And then this, which Jimmy Dore is always talking about this guy. And a nice woman over on Twitter who befriended me recommended I read it. So I have begun to read it. I'm going to read the Frank Thomas book first because it's smaller. And I think it has to do with sort of the abandonment of the kind of things that Democrats used to stand for. Again, I am not a Democrat. I was at one point a Republican. Now I am a question mark. I don't know what I am. I will probably remain an independent or unenrolled voter who votes on issues and votes for economic prosperity. By the way, speaking of that, Kim Iverson, who is just on fire. If you haven't subscribed to her channel, you really need to do so. I mean, she's got the professional mojo. She came from the radio industry, much like myself, but she actually was successful, whereas I worked in a couple of small markets and kind of flopped or just got tired of it. I never get fired. I never get fired. Just, you know, I mean, look at me. I do have a face for radio, but it didn't it didn't pan out. I get bored with it, to be honest with you. But Kim, she's got it. She's got the look. She's got the style. She's well researched. She did a video today about how just the term progressive needs to be overhauled or updated. And I would say progressive, yep, that would be a starting point. But I'd really look into socialism or socialist policies more than progressive. Because socialist, to me, just because of where I've been, I hear that term and I do a little recoiling, and then I have to look at what this is really all about. And I did a video a little while ago, Tulsi Gabbard, it's not about socialism, because it's really not. I mean, and you've got great points. Somebody on Twitter today said, yeah, Donald Trump is socialist all the way when it comes to the military. He's socialist all the way when it comes to Israel. And this is the kind of stuff that needs to get into mainstream discussions. But the word socialist, again, has really been bastardized to where it just, for some people, means that, you know, people with the hammer and sickle insignia are going to be showing up at your door, and they're going to want you and your children. And I don't know why that is. I think just because it's been effectively, you know, branded as such by people on the right, even people in the mainstream who, you know, Bernie Sanders today, Medicare for All proposal, here comes the evil socialism, come to get you and your family. And it's not. It's actually health care that might actually save you and your family. So this is where we need to really be vigilant about language, because words do matter. Words mean things. But if people have a perception of a word, it's going to be tough to convince them if you have to go through this education process to get them to a place that they're not at. They're nowhere near where you are on this progressive stuff, or whatever you'd like to call it, this fiercely independent sort of, America, real America first and real populist type stuff. I mean, these are things that can actually benefit people and help people. But what I loved about Kim Iverson's video is she talked really aggressively about how to reach out to more people. And this also goes along with Bernie Sanders going on Fox News for a town hall. Hey, I used to watch a lot of Fox News. Actually, I stopped watching Fox News. Again, I guess I've had kind of a slow pivot because the lead up to 2016, I was probably watching a lot of Fox. Then after the election, I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And then, I mean, there are a couple of shows. I like Tucker Carlson. I do. I will admit, because I think he's a crossover guy. I mean, he's definitely on the right, no question about it, but he likes truth, he likes good arguments, and he likes underdogs, and he'll put an underdog on there even if he disagrees with him. So I like him, but for the most part, I really don't watch Fox. What I do is I'll get clips on YouTube and just take snippets and watch them and then get rid of them. But I've been watching RT America more than anything else. It's just, there's just so much content on there that's worth watching. But again, going back to the whole idea of progressives and what it means to be a progressive and socialism, I think those things are all terms that need to be tweaked, and not for marketing purposes, but for just being accurate in saying what it is. Because really a lot of Americans, the average truck driver, if you tell them, hey, would you be into socialism? They're going to be like, no, because that means everyone's going to control my life, and my taxes are going to go up 100-fold, and we're all going to be taken over. I'm going to be fending off the military as they drive up onto my property and try to take over my land and so forth. I mean, these are the perceptions. I'm just telling you, coming from the right, I know how I used to know guys who, used to wear camo and walk around thinking that the world was going to end and somebody was going to show up. If we allowed somebody to be elected, for instance, that would have been the end, and I bought into a lot of it. I've realized that I think the deep state really controls the government anyway. I mean, I'm worried if Bernie or Tulsi gets elected, will they be co-opted by these people? I mean, what's to prevent the deep state from just saying, Bernie Sanders? Yeah, right. Tulsi Gabbard? You think she's going to stand up to us? See, she believes in the power of the people, which means we have to rise up. And we have to be the ones that are vocal and say, you're not doing this. We didn't vote for this. This is unconstitutional. You guys aren't an elected body. You're appointed, and it's time to hit the road, maybe. With Tulsi, I think Tulsi is closer than Bernie is when it comes to the fight. Okay? I worry Bernie's, 77 years old? Something like that? I don't know. I think he is. And I'm worried that he's not going to have the energy to fight this. And yeah, maybe if it's Bernie, Tulsi, and there's a plan, Bernie for the first 4 years and then Tulsi for the next 8, you might be able to actually dismantle the war machine in that much time, or at least drastically reduce it. But from where I'm sitting, I think progressives, when they talk about these issues, if they want to broaden their base, and I'm not saying compromise on what you believe, because I love a lot of the stuff that's out there and stuff that I'm learning and arguments that I've never heard before, and a lot of these younger progressive independent media outlets, they're on fire. Kim Iverson is on fire. She needs, if she didn't have to be owned by somebody at the corporate level, she should have her own TV show on some fledgling network, maybe RT America, somebody like that who would like another voice. And they need more shows and they need more voices, because There's just not enough. There's not enough, and that's why a lot of people are coming over to me, and I'm just a guy who talks, and I'm not anybody special doing this, whereas a lot of these other folks are really informed. They know what they believe in, and they can articulate and argue that. But I would say this. I would say if you're scared of the word progressive or you're scared of the word socialism, I wouldn't worry too much about it. I really wouldn't. I'd just listen to what the arguments are, listen to what's being proposed. Yes, you'd be getting health care, you'd be getting Medicare for all, which you're paying for Medicare right now. Think about that. It's not a crazy concept just to add everybody in. And you've got this large pool of people now paying into the system. And, you know, if you have something that happens to you, you don't worry. I mean, you'll be healthier just not worrying about going bankrupt. Think of that. You know, we are a civilized place, and we are the richest country on earth. So some of that money should flow down from the military-industrial complex back to the citizens. That's why I support Tulsi Gabbard. That's why I support radically independent thinking. And that's why I would urge everybody to support all of these young and up-and-coming progressive voices out there who really do have the best interests of the country at heart. All right, done with this video. Thanks again for subscribing. Patreon. And that'll take you over to my music channel, but it's me. So if you decide you want to donate $1 or $2 a month, you help me out, because I think we're at least a month away from monetization, thanks to the backlog here over at YouTube Google Central. So we'll see how fast that goes through, but my first time around doing this, it took a long time, so but if you can help me out on Patreon, that would be awesome. All right, see you soon.